Good morning to fellow Toastmasters and Speechcraft members. With immense pleasure, I welcome you all to our Speechcraft meeting. The mission of every Toastmaster club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in such a way the members are empowered to improve their communication skills and leadership qualities, hence resulting in greater personality growth and self-confidence. Members of the Toastmasters are guided by a set of essential core values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Before moving on to the meeting, I would like to brief upon certain rules which is to be followed. Kindly keep your mobile phones on silent mode. Do not talk about taboo topics such as politics, religion, and sex. Kindly sit in a silent atmosphere so that you can hear the speaker clearly. Kindly be on mute until it is your turn to speak. If you have any message to be shared or conveyed during the meeting, kindly use the chat box below. We strongly recommend to have your videos turned on for a convivial meeting experience. Now it's time to introduce our presiding officer. He is a software engineer. He loves taking long drive and trekking. He is a passionate Toastmaster. He is a current Vice President Education of Chennai Toastmasters Club. Let's welcome Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. The virtual stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vignesh. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and Speechcraft members. Continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. It's a famous quote by Mark Twain. A little progress each day adds up to big results. Because why I mentioned this here is we are progressing steadily and we have crossed halfway of our Speechcraft session. And with that note, I welcome you all formally and formally declare open the Speechcraft meeting number 5. So I would like to recognize the presence of is yet to come. I would like to welcome the DTM Venu Nilagana, who will be joining very soon, and also Srikanth Kuttikishnan, the special guest who is going to be our evaluator as well. And with that note, I would like to invite our Toastmaster of the day, who's the master of the ceremony, our Toastmaster, our Speechcraft member, Deepak Karagiraj. Deepak Karagiraj, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Lakshmi, for the warm welcome. Good morning, dear Toastmasters and Speechcrafters. I have planned the topic leadership as the theme for the day. Let me share an incident from the history to start with. So it was in the year 2009, and it was the city LaGuardia. The US Airways aircraft was about to take off. The captain of the flight was Captain Sullenberger. While the plane was about to take off, while it was taking off, the co-pilot was in charge of the flight. And there were 155 passengers and 3 air hostess supporting them. And in the 3rd minute of the flight, birds collided with the engine and both the engines went off, exploded actually. The co-pilot was unable to return to the airport, as well as he couldn't find any land strips nearby. Immediately, the captain took off the plane, took in charge of the plane, and he landed. He did what? He did the unthinkable. He landed the plane in River Hudson, and every member of the plane, 155 passengers, 3 air hostesses, and the 2 pilots were all saved. And on landing in the River Hudson, there was immediate help. A cruise came for their rescue, and the people started hailing the captain as a hero. But the captain, Sullenberger, he said, "It's not because of me. It's only because of the co-pilot and the 3 air hostesses. This mission wouldn't have been possible." Now, my question to you all. So what great leadership traits you observe in the Captain Sullenberger? And before that, on this incident, a movie was made. It was named Sully. I wish you all to have a watch on that. Now, back to my question. So what great traits you observe in this particular incident from Sullenberger?
Decision making.
Yes, of course. Yes, Ratish. And what else you think?
Awareness of the situation and the presence of mind.
Yeah, Manoj. Agree. Apart from these, there is the decision making and awareness of the situation based on the deciding. The first thing he did was, it's my aeroplane. He took the control of the situation when there was a crisis, right? And when success was achieved, when everyone was saved, he didn't say it's because of me. He said it's them. So these two, apart from decision making, are very needed characters, attributes of a great leader. When there is crisis, a leader will say, it's my aeroplane. And when success is achieved, a leader would say, it's because of them. Just imagine if the captain has said, it's them when there was crisis. This success wouldn't have been achieved. And once when everybody were saved, if he has said, it's my aeroplane, so even that would be a failure, disaster. A team wouldn't be a success under such a leader. So with this note, let me come back to the work. And I am setting the agenda for the day. Today, we have 3 segments: prepared speech, table topics, and finally, the evaluation. And in our prepared speech, we have 6 participants delivering their speech on individual topics. And then the table topic session where we have impromptu speaking. And then last but not least, the evaluation of the same. The general evaluator for today's session is our beloved Lakshmi Narayana, who is a software engineer by profession, and he works in Allied Materials company, and he is electrical engineer by qualification. He has a passion of pet food and driving. So with these few words, let me invite Lakshmi to brief about the objectives of the speech as a general evaluator. Back to you, Lakshmi.
Thank you to Speechcraft member Deepak Kauragraj for a warm welcome and a nice introduction. I'm sorry I didn't get your introduction before, so I couldn't give a proper introduction to you. I apologize for that. And also, I really appreciate you for giving an introduction about leadership with a very perfect example of Sully. Even I watched that movie. I'm very impressed with that movie. I would like to recommend that movie to many people. So thanks for starting a very positive note. So good morning, Speechcraft members and Toastmasters. I'm very happy to be part of this meeting again, and I'll be the general evaluator for today's meeting, because the quality of this Speechcraft program depends on the quality of each meeting. So we already crossed 4 meetings, and we are in the 5th meeting now. And now, no matter how the meeting went well in the past, we need to ensure that meeting, even today, it's going good and it's going to be good in the future as well. So to observe the quality of the meeting, I'll be the quality manager called as general evaluator for today's meeting. And I'll observe the meeting right from the beginning. I've started observing until the end of this session, so that I'll observe, I'll put forward a report on how the meeting went well, what good things happen and what can be improved, so that we can improve ourselves and strive towards the perfection in future. So to do that, I'm not alone. I have a set of team, the 2 set of teams. One is a tag team, another set of team is the evaluators. I'll introduce the evaluators at the after the table topic session. But right now, I'm going to introduce you to the tag team, the timer, up counter, and the grammarian team. And to begin with today, let me invite our timer, Speechcraft member Vignesh. Speechcraft member Vignesh, please explain your role as a timer and your objective as well. Over to you.
Thank you, sir, for your warm introduction. Time is precious, which explains how time is so valuable. As a timer, I will time the topic, speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I'll also alert the speakers of the time remaining by giving the red, green and the yellow cards. For example, if the allotted time is about 5 to 7 minutes, so at the minimum of 5 minutes, we'll be flashing and red card. So at the intermediate time between the 6 minutes, we'll be flashing and yellow card. And after 7 minutes, we'll be flashing and red card. An additional of 30 seconds would be given for each speaker to complete their speeches. So after that, it will be considered as disqualified. Over to Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayan.
Thank you, Vignesh, for giving a very detailed objective on how we are going to handle the timer role. And I'm sure everyone knows what this green, yellow, and red signal. So you will understand from the signal from what is going to share as well. So now let me invite the accounter of today's meeting. And today's accounter is Speechcraft member Sendil. Speechcraft member Sendil, please explain your role and objective as an accounter.
Thank you, Lakshmi Narayan. Good morning, Toastmaster and Speechcrafters. So, we used to cut our unwanted nails and hairs to show us beautiful outside. Also, it gives us comfort to do our daily work. As the same way, when you cut down your crutch words and unwanted filler words in your speech would be very beautiful, and it also helps to convey your message, what you thought you speak to the audience very clearly. Today, as an accountant, I will carefully monitor the crunch words like hope, and unappropriate filler words like so, you know well, etc. and passes used in the meeting, and I will report back my observation when called upon. All the best. Thank you. Over to Lakshmi Narayan.
Thank you, Sendil Kumar, for explaining very clearly and precisely on your role. I think now this meeting, people will understand more clearly about what you are going to observe upon. So, and I noticed you didn't use any hours and numbers. Thank you for that. And the last part of the tag team will be the grammarian. And today's grammarian is our Uri-1 Toastmaster Vignesh. Just to give a few words about him, he's a hardware engineer from Qualcomm, and he is a current secretary of the Chennai Toastmaster Club as well. Welcome, Toastmaster Vignesh, and please explain your role as a grammarian.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayan, for your warm words of welcome. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and Speechcraft members. As a grammarian, I will listen to all the speakers and also note down the good and not so good usages used by every speaker. Also, it is my responsibility to introduce the word of the day. Today, word of the day is plethora. Plethora meaning large or excess amount of something. Usage. You can find a plethora of book on a subject of love, peace. One can learn a plethora of skills from Toastmasters. So I request everyone to use the word plethora in your speech. Also, I request every members to appreciate by clapping or some hand gestures by appreciating the speakers who used the word of the day. Back to you. And also, I will share the report at the end of the meeting when called upon by the general evaluator. Back to you, general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vignesh. I request you to post that word of the day and its usage in the message box so that people can look into it. And with that, I'll in this particular portion of my general evaluation introduction. So I'll get back to you again during the evaluation session. Until then, I hand over the control back to Toastmaster of the day, TMOD Deepak Karagraj. Over to you.
Thank you, Lakshmi. So with this, I declare the Speechcraft session with the open. And our first Speechcrafter is Bharani. He has a great passion to become a businessman. in the near future. And his evaluator will be our distinguished Toastmaster Ratish, who is a very passionate and enthusiastic person and an awardee of highest educational Toastmaster award. Before I call upon the speaker, I would request the evaluator, to read out the speech objectives. Ratish.
Thank you, Speechcrafter Deepak. The speaker is expected to present a talk that is organized in a manner that leads the audience to a clearly defined goal. The speech includes a beginning, a body, and a conclusion. Thank you, and back to you.
Let me welcome Mr. Barnidharan, the speechcrafter, to deliver his speech on the topic, Living Our Life. Over to you, Barney. Barney, you are on mute.
Thank you, the Toastmaster Deepak. Good morning, speechcrafters and Toastmasters. So for the last 1 week, I was searching a topic for organized speech. I was tensed as I did not have any idea on what to speak. I was Googling, watching YouTube, and then wrote a speech and sent to my mentor. My mentor read the first 4 lines and told me in a polished way, whatever you have written is looking like a gyan, and all who will listen will clearly understand from where you took the quotes. I was really upset. After that, I researched a lot of topics, but all went in vain, which made me frustrated. Finally, I thought what I am doing instead of living my life, which I did 2 months back. Now you might all come to know what I'm going to talk about. It is living our life. Many people, especially from corporate companies, are not living their lives. Most of them would agree. They are working like machines, but without happiness. For last 2 or 3 days, I was working from morning 9 to night 11, and my daughter had an exam, and she had a clarification in a subject. Whenever she came to me, I told, do not disturb. She was really fed up, and she got angry and stopped talking to me. That sparked me that I need to understand what is important to me. Obviously, family is important to us than anything else in the world. We have to spend time with our families. We have to live our lives. Even in work, we need to enjoy the work we do. Otherwise, it will be a burden, and the work we do will not have the quality if you do not love the work we do. You know, people who are born in 2, 11, 29 dates are dreamers. They dream half of their life thinking that they can become like Elon Musk or Bill Gates, etc. Why I'm saying this is because I was born in one of these days and I dreamt a lot. Later, I realized that I need to be at the present moment. I need to know what is around me, how I am feeling, and what is that which makes us happy. So we should, at this moment, I'm happily speaking to you in this Speechcraft session. We all should be kind to all because we will not know what will happen tomorrow. I think I'm good at it. Whenever time permits, I'm helping the poor people by providing food to them, which makes me happy. We all should be open to ideas. Whenever someone speaks to us, we should listen to their ideas, where we can learn a lot of things from it. Now I am enjoying it. I think you should also try to live your life, because only when you live your life, you will be able to value your life. Life is uncertain and it will end without giving us any notification. In this uncertainty, do not lose the charm of enjoying your best moment in life. To make the best of your life, you should live it large. I think I used the word rhetorical here, meaning large. Finally, I would like to complete my speech by saying a Latin proverb, which is carpe diem, which means to value each day of your life as if it were the last one. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
That was wonderful and practical, Barney. Live the moment. Yes, we will start practicing it. Let me introduce you the second speaker of the day, Guru Swami, who is an engineer by qualification, who has passion on traveling and learning new technologies. And his speech evaluator will be Mrs. Geeta, who has passion on improving people's communication and their leadership skills. She even conducts English speaking classes. Now, Guru, over to you, Guru.
Thank you, Speechcrafter Deepak, and good morning, fellow Speechcrafters and Toastmasters. So before I get into the complete topic or the title, how many of you had a very good sleep yesterday night? Okay, fine. So that's great to know that. But I see only few people raising hands. So I know many of us are working in corporates where we do have a lot of works to do, and we will be quite occupied with our day-to-day work activities getting extended. But one of the important point or thing I want to bring in this forum is like about the sleep. Sleep is an essential part of a person for being a healthy and leading a well-being life. And this is something said by the NSF, National Sleeping Foundation, which was founded at 1990 in United States, Washington headquarters. So, but yet millions of people are now having the problem of lack of sleep, or they have other work-related activities where they do lose this sleep, or they are getting enough plenty of sleep. The answer will be no. When I was trying to give this speech, I was doing all the researches on this topic. I found that personally, I related to my lifestyle. Where do I went wrong, or what make me to lose my sleep? In my school or my college days, I used to wake by 5:30 a.m. in the morning, and that is how I was born and brought up by my parents. And even my parents or our grandparents, not only my parents or my grandparents, every one of our elders had led the life in that way. Whereas, do we have the same practices in our life? Are we teaching the same thing to our kids? Think about it. The answer will be mostly no. That's how it is. The main reason we are more often becoming an addict to the gadgets nowadays. Nowadays, people were using cell phone is quite often in the night times. They spend lot of times. And yes, I'm not the exceptional one. I was also being the same one. I used to, even if there is no work, if I'm going to close my day work, I used to take my cell phone and do some browsing, or completely going into the Facebooks or other stuffs. Let me, this, I analyzed myself, and I found that this not only impacted my sleep, but it had influence in my kids' lifestyle. They used to sleep late with me, and they used to wake late. What happened? Their day-to-day activities or their day-to-day food habits changed, and that had an impact. And it is a serious thing which I realized that I need to seriously think, and I need to put a full stop. And I discussed with my wife, and for the past 1 month we have not been using cell phone during the night times, or even in the daytimes. Only if it is required, we will be using the gadgets, cell phones especially. And that I can start seeing the refreshing day in every morning when we used to get up in the morning. And now, even due to the work, I sleep late. I used to wake by 6:30. I'm trying to practice that, and I'm trying to bring my kids to wake by 7:30. And slowly I need to bring them to the days where I used to wake by 5:30, how I was brought up. So that is something I was trying to practice. So before one more thing I want to add is like the last year, I'm not in the last year, February 28, 2020, there was an article published in Hindu Business Line stating that there were in India, most of the young age and the middle-aged Indians were being seriously ill, like diabetes or cancer or heart attack, is because of lack of sleepiness. That's a case study they have published on the year 2020 in Feb 28 something. So seeing all this, it is our responsibility to give a healthy and a well-being life to our kids, like everyone, like how our parents taught us. So I with this stage, I'm expecting or requesting everyone to think over it and have to spend time with kids. And before closing my speech, having lack of sleep is also is impacted at the same time. Plethora of excess of sleep is also going to be too much impact. So balance it and have a healthy and well-being life. And thank you for the opportunity. And over to Speechcraft Deepak. Thank you.
It was a very much needed topic to be discussed, Guru. Really inspiring. And references from NSF were wonderful. Thanks for your speech, Guru. And there were plethora of hours in our earlier speeches, which has drastically reduced. So keep up the good work, team. And our next speech crafter who is going to deliver his speech is Mr. Manoj. Manoj. Okay. He is an MSc IT graduate, a part-time YouTuber, and an aspiring writer. And his evaluator is Mr. Srikanth. The topic of Manoj is money is pragmatic. Over to you, Manoj.
Okay. So before I start, I wanted to check, is my audio clear? Warren Buffett once said, money is not everything, but make sure that you earn a lot before saying such nonsense. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Toastmaster Deepak, for giving a wonderful introduction. In the world, there are about 790 crore people as on March. And you know one thing? Top 10%, that is 7.9 crores of people are enjoying half of the world's wealth. Now, I think people would be thinking where I'm heading towards, right? Yes, money is everything. If you have plethora of money, you can do whatever you want. And you can be in the top 1% who enjoys their life. Wait. I can hear some mind voices. Somebody saying like, money cannot buy you a house. I mean, money can buy you a house, but not home. Money can buy you bed, not sleep. Even money can buy you medicine, not health. And money can buy you insurance, but not safety, right? So these are the common questions coming across everybody's mind who are listening to me now. Yes, I can answer your questions. But before I move on to that, I want to tell you a short story. There lived a man who was living a very normal life, like a middle class or a lower middle class family life, and he had two kids. One kid is elder daughter was about to get married. Younger son was almost in school. He was around 54 years of age. During that time, he used to work. He used to work a lot, and you will not believe that at the age of 54, this man was perfectly fit, and he even had a six-pack without even going to the gym. And he used to walk at least 2 to 3 kilometers a day. He is non-alcoholic. He was a non-smoker, and was a perfect gentleman to anybody who can admire him. One fine day, okay, he somehow managed to get his daughter married. And one fine day, he was going to his work. And as usual, his daily routine is like, he will go to at least walk 2 to 3 kilometers towards office and take the bus so that he can save at least 2 stages of money, the ticket cost, and that can be given to his family. Because his family was not riches or not having plethora of money to take care of all the expenses. He was alone. I mean, he was a single breadwinner for the family. And he went to the office as usual. His son went to the school, and his wife was a homemaker. After 4 or 5 hours, one ambulance came and stopped in front of his home. And to everybody's surprise, it was his dead body. And they didn't know what to do with that. He was a single breadwinner for the family, and he didn't have anything to, he didn't have any money to support. Even the family was totally shattered. They didn't have the money to even do the funerals properly. So they had to borrow the money. But however, by looking at his death, he was perfect fit. He didn't have anything. And what the co-workers who brought his body told that he had a chest pain and he went to the restroom and workers restroom and he was like lying for their time sometime. And after calling him after 2 or 3 hours, he didn't wake up and took him to the hospital. Then they said that he was brought dead. And finally, the body was given, handed out to the family, and they did the cremation and they moved on. Then slowly, his son grown up. His son graduated, and somehow he managed to take care of the family. He was leading a normal life. After 10 years, he happened to meet one of his dad's old co-worker, and finally he realized that his dad's death was not natural because the owner had a plethora of money and the owner was running a company which was like doing business with a lot of people without getting registered properly, without giving the ESI and pension and other things. And he had a lot of money and he covered up his entire death. And who watched the incident was also given a lot of money, that is plethora of money, to cover up this. Now, you want to know who is the person? Yes, he is none other than my father. So with that bitter incident in my life, I realized that money is everything. Now, the answer to the question which I asked, which many of you now will be having, money can buy you, money can buy you bed, not sleep, right? There are new techniques and new beds available in the market, which is around the costing somewhere around 26 lakhs. It can give you, even sing you lullaby, and it can give you good sleep, and it is like a adult cradle to the adult population. And if you have a family, okay, where will you put to sleep? You need to have a home. Either you rent it or you buy it. You need money to do that. If you have a lot of money, definitely one thing is that you can buy medicine, and also you can buy insurance. You will say that it is not safety. I understand. I clearly understand it's not safety. But the problem is, if you have a lot of money and if you can go carefree, and the insurance will cover up your family, even if something happens to you. And finally, life is a short journey from B to D. So the speakers who spoke just before me, Guru said they're having lack of sleep. If you have plenty of money, you will get good sleep. And also, our speaker, Bharanidharan said, you wanted to live in practical. Yes, you can live in very much practical. You can enjoy your life if you have a lot of money. Okay, earn money. So life is a very short journey from B to D. B is birth, D is death. And in between, there is a C. C is nothing but choice. Choose your life. Okay, make money. If you are born poor, it is not your problem. But if you die poor, it is definitely your problem. So with that, I would like to conclude my speech. Earn money and find ways to earn money without hurting others. That's all. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, Manoj. You started looking like a Toastmaster to me these days, with great gestures while delivering your speech. And of course, there were plethora of plethoras in your speech. Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
And our next speaker is Saravana, a man from Tiruttani. Again, he is an engineer by qualification who has passion for music and cooking. And his evaluator is Ratish again, Toastmaster Ratish. Saravana, please start your speech on the topic Smile.
Yeah, thanks, Deepak. Can I audible?
You're audible, yes.
Yeah, thanks, Deepak. Yeah, very good morning to the Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and the evaluator. Every little smile can touch everybody's heart. No one is born happy when the kid's born like he's giving sound, yeah, quack sound. But we always as born with the ability to create the happiness. I really believe this is to be true. With a little bit of personal experience, I could like to tell you why we should keep smiling. I totally believe in that my true smile is the best way to keep you in the good mood. Smiling shares our happiness with others. A smile is always showing the happiness, love, and friend, affection and kindness. When you watch a friend doing something silly or embarrassing, you smile. When you feeling down, seeing someone smile, your heart feels happy. That makes you feel better, and probably you will have a better head day. When you've been recognized for your performance in academic, you smile. When the police officer let you off without fine, you smile. When teachers say that she is unable to take a class due to health issue, you smile at the time always. School is the best part of our life. For me, was the best journey of mine. School is always be the many memories. I had a great recollection growing up. The story will bring you back to the school days. When my friend got in exam with a bit paper, okay, he went to principal room and come out. I asked him, what happened, macha? He just simply replied, Goundamani sir, very famous movie dialogue in Suryan, "Arasiyal idella sadhanama macha." That makes me smile. The another thing, right? I still remember when my class teacher taking morning attendance, when you had a crush on a girl, my best friend shout louder my name when teachers calling a girl name. That makes me a smile. I still remember like a first week of the 11th standard after I'm moving to higher secondary. There was a still new people from other section coming to my class. There was a girl which is rumored to shifting to my class. Next week, we all went to computer lab. I was sitting to next to her. When she's finishing typing the typical C program in the old computer with a large size of keyboard, in early 2000, when he pressed the enter key in the right keyboard on the right side, I feel as she touched my hands, my butterfly flies inside my heart and my smiles on the day's fast day. After the same instance, when I was rushed to work in the morning, 9 o'clock, I was waiting at the Vadapani signal to move my bike, a green signals to start. When there is a guy began me and he start eating on my right leg, and I remove my helmet to fight with the guy. I smiled and forgive him after he say one word, sorry sir, peakersla idella kandugadinga. Same, the smile always give the energy to me. You know one thing, smile always shopkeeper, always polite to the customer, and he smiles and use a positive tone, and he wants to customer to come back again. He always treat him with the respect and the smile. But we forget to smile in our home when we get all the happiness in home. We no need to smile always big thing happen in our life. The first day of October is a World Smile Day. It means that we need to smile on that day only. We need to observe all the tiny things in our life and smile. Today, after the session speaks over, the polls result came. Who is the best speaker today? When Deepak says winner is Saravanan, that makes me smile very good. Smile is always cosmetic that makes our face beautiful. Set you free, make you special, increase your face value, lift up your spirit, erase all your tension. Keep smiling. Thank you.
That was cool and soothing speech, Saravana. And there was a lesson too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Wishes. And the next person who delivers his speech is Speechcrafter Suresh, a man with a passion for compassion. You all could recall his charities which he shared in his earlier speech. His topic is importance of personal finance, and his evaluator is Toastmaster Mrs. Geeta. Over to you, Suresh.
You are on mute, Suresh.
Thanks, Deepak. Good morning, Toastmasters and evaluators. I would like, the topic of the discussion is about the importance of personal finance. So before that, going into deep dive, I just want to put forth the question that how many of us run our daily family life without a personal loan, without a home loan, or without any other loan? There are some 7 to 8 types of loan. How many of us lead a life without getting all the types of loan? Just raise your hands. Very few, right? Very few of us. So that's why I just want to put forth my lessons learned that I had in my life. So actually just want to say that actually people are there. So every football fan has heard of Ronaldo, the legendary Brazilian football player. But you do know that Ronaldo went in bankruptcy in the year 2018. Known for his extravagant lifestyle and for love for luxurious cars, Ronaldo declared bankruptcy in the year 2018 with a meager amount of £5 in his account. So being rich doesn't mean that you can manage wealth, but making money is not same as effectively managing it. So that is why the personal finance comes in picture. So when we talk about personal money, it is not just about money. There is a lot more into it. So when we look into the personal finance, then we can go into savings, credit, or finance. But the topic that I'm going to put forth now is only on the personal finance, which is very critical, almost like a foundation block on how we need to take into actions. So disclaimer comes in place as well, because it differs from persona to persona. So which fits a lot for you. Need to go through in detail and see what kind of insights and actions need to be have a plan in place for a particular person. The plan may varies from different person to person. So let's do a deep dive on the personal finance. So what is meant by personal finance? So a lot of time when we use the term personal finance, so without thinking deeply enough of why we need to say personal finance, the most critical important piece in this world, the term person comes in picture before finance. So a person is more important than finance. The reason why personal finance is called personal finance is that we need to understand the individual, that a person comes first and the finance comes the second, and it is not in the other way around. I hope this is very clear on the term personal finance, and this is possibly the foundation of how we are going to move forward. So next one is why personal finance is important. Why is personal finance important for every one of us? In the ideal world, none of us have to worry about money. But in today's world, everyone need money for all our desires, for all our requirements, for everything that we wish to do needs money. Right? So money is a currency that makes and moves things around. So which means we have got to do things with money. So we got to earn money, we got to keep money, we have to make the money that we have saved so that it will be helpful when we retire. So at our at our aging factor, because of the aging factor, even if you are wealthy, at some point of time, you will run out of money. That is why we need to know how to manage the personal finance. So at a lot of times we say personal finance is like a skill. So why do we say it is a life skill? Why is there so much importance to this in this fintech world? Now let's think about where do most of us spend our productive time once we are awake? Most of us trying to do some productive things. A painter is trying to paint, a software engineer is trying to code, a test engineer like us is trying to test to deliver a quality product. So this is why we are doing all these things, with the purpose of create to some kind of income for ourselves and in the end for our survival. So why do we need the source of income? Because we need money to go around, and everything goes around with money. And that's why we need to figure out how to manage the personal finance. The other important thing to think about the personal finance and why it's life skill is we need to money to last our life throughout the life, which means at different point of time. My father is a retired government servant, so he is getting pension, but whereas, and most of the people around us doesn't get pension up when we cross about 60. So we need to tackle the money. So we need to keep the money safe, or what to say, in a savings account, so that it will cater us after the age of 60. So because I don't know how many of us are invested in the national pension account, but people may think that national pension investing the amount in the national pension scheme is not, maybe looks odd. And when I invested in a national pension scheme in Cnsi, it was a laughing stock for me, to be fact. But in the long run, after the age of 60, I know the pain point. So that's why I invested in the national pension scheme, which will help us, or which will help me when I cross 60, and which will help my family as well. At some point of time, we may need our regular income ceases, and we need something else to support us. This is what life skill. So we need to know about personal finance, where or when I start working, and I don't need to think about it. So you need to think about it when you are not earning. So when you start earning, so when you get married, more responsibilities comes in place. So when you close to the retirement, so when you're retiring, more responsibilities comes in place. To take care of your sons, to take care of your kids, or take care of your grandsons, all those comes in place. So at all points in time, this is something that you need to think. That is why a life skill, it is not just a skill. You have to take up for a few years and say, hi, I don't need to worry about it. But very few of us think that, who can afford to think like that. So, okay, the time has come up. Okay, thanks for giving, thanks for your time. Thanks for giving or allotting a slot for me to share my thoughts on importance of personal finance. But the topic is very big. I can share, but I need to give respect to other timings as well. So that's it from here.
It was very
Over to Deepak.
Yeah, thanks, Suresh. It was very insightful and thought-provoking. Excellent speech, Suresh. Our next speaker is Venkat. Lakshmi, I don't see he is in the call. Venkat, are you there? No.
Venkat is the last speaker, right?
Yes.
So should
No,
we wait for them? I think
we
you can move ahead. I think.
Fine. So with this, we conclude the table, the session, the prepared speech session. The next in line is the table topics. I hand over to the Toastmaster Sri Priya on table topics.
Thank you, Speechcrafter Deepak. Good morning, Toastmasters and fellow Speechcrafters. Today, my role is to conduct the table topic session. So, to say about the table topics, the table topic help the members, the Toastmasters or the members who are practicing the art of improvisation, and it develops thinking ability to organize their thoughts quickly and respond to any impromptu topic. So this helps them develop 4 vital communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and delivering. So before going on to the session, let me remind you on the time allotted. So as the timer already explained, the timing for the table topic session is 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute is the minimum time. 1 minute 30 seconds is the target time, and 2 minutes is the maximum time. And the speaker also will be given 30 seconds additional, and after which he will be the speech will be disqualified. So let's move on to the session. The first speaker, the table topic speaker, is Charles Anthony Sami. Charles, you are available, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Charles. Okay. Sure. So let me say the topic. The topic is the person who inspired me the most. The person who inspired me the most.
Okay. Okay, can I start? Or
yes, Charles, please, you can start.
Okay. Good morning, all. Good morning, friends. Good morning, our fellow Toastmasters. Today, my topic is who inspired me most. I'm sure myself and Manoj is pretty much in line with that. Warren Buffett, the best person in the living world. So we got a chance to learn from him. We got a chance to understand his lifestyle. We got a chance to live together, and whatever he says, it's pretty much agree with our thought process. Warren Buffett he didn't get a chance to study in his college. He don't have a money. So he started his work as a paper seller, paper distributor. So by the time he found the way to buy the stocks, understand the stocks, where to invest, what is the starting point to invest. So all these things is learned. It's the best quote I ever inspired here is, if you buy unwanted things today, you will not have money to buy needed things in future. That is the best thing. So money is the matter. You have to invest where you need. He is having a best quality, like you should not invest certain things like alcohol, cigarettes. Those are the disciplinary action as well. You will not buy stock for everything. You will buy the stock for whatever is needed for the people, what is the most required for the people. Okay, think about it. Let's take his example as still now he is using this old car, still now he is using his old house. He didn't make any changes. What he's saying here is, this is good enough for me for my lifestyle. I don't need to go for, I know to buy the Ferrari car. What I'm going to do with that? So think about it. Don't enjoy, don't see all the ads and purchase all the things we want. That will just a colors and glimpse for us, not for our lifestyle. Thank you all.
Thank you, Charles. And that was a really good one. And you put up a lot of points about the person who are with whom we are most inspired. Thanks, Charles. So let's move on to the next speaker. So Karthikeyan Madhavan is available.
Yes, Rivya.
Yeah. So the topic is my favorite piece of art. So Karthik, you can, the stage is yours, and the topic is my favorite piece of art. It can be a movie or it can be an, any other artwork which you are fond of.
Suddenly, I remember that actually I like that movie. Actually, usually the Rajinikanth movie I very much I like. Usually, most of the films I will look into the internet or in the CD or DVD player we will see in my home only. But in the Rajinikanth movie only the first we'll book and we'll go. Mostly with my family, I'll go. So, but basically, we know that the Rajinikanth is actually I like his life style also. I like basically he's the conductor. He's from Karnataka, but he based on his hard work, he did. He's a good actor in Tamil movies. So I like his hard work and I like his acting. I like his dialogue. So mostly most of the films I will look at the Rajinikanth films. I will go in the first show. I'll book the movie and mostly with my friends or family I'll go. So the plethora of happiness I had from Rajinikanth movie. So basically and I am expecting the much more movies for upcoming days to look at and usually the generation, right? The Rajinikanth is the maybe like the two generation. Maybe the MGR is on generation, but the Rajinikanth maybe a bit I'm also like, but maybe my son, my doctor also will like his movie. So maybe the Rajinikanth movies I like overall. That's it from me, Sylvia. Hand over to you.
Thanks, Kathy. That was a really good one. And you put up a lot of points about the films that you like. And you are a diehard fan of Rajinikanth, that I understood from the speech. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next table topic. So the next speaker I would call is Logesh Delhi Babu. So Logesh. Yeah. Okay. So the topic is care for the environment. Logesh, the stage is yours and the topic is care for the environment.
Thanks for giving this topic, Sripriya, for this care for this environment. So when you said about the care for the environment, so we had I born and brought up in one road, the area called Pacheman. The area was surrounded by when I was in childhood, the area was surrounded by full of lorries and all those stuff were there and at the ground. So they were changing there and modifying their engines and the mechanical works that has been happened to that place, and the soil was so very much of oil, and the people we cannot go and walk in that area, which is very near to my grandmother home. So me and my friends and my father and their friends also, we we were collated and we formed a foundation called Wannabe. Okay. After that, we found that foundation. After that, we were trying to remove those lorries and to plant other trees in the areas. So this was happened in the year of around 2000. So now, if you go and look at the places, so the trees were grown very much larger, and the people who can come and sit like it's like an environment like park. So the people can go and sit to the environment with good atmosphere around the temple. So it will be really natural, and you can see the what I can give it to the environment. So that's it from me, Sylvia.
Thanks, Lokesh. So good to hear that you are part of a foundation and you did a lot of things to care for the environment. That was really good to know, Lokesh. Thank you. So let's move on to the next table topic. So let me call Ranjit Kumar Polraj. So Ranjit, you are available in the call, right? Ranjit.
No, Stipriya, I think rest.
Okay.
Ranjit not coming.
Okay, then let's move on to the next one. So let me call upon Sumita Tamilarasan. Sumita, you are there, right? Sumita is also.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. Hi, Sumita. So the topic is culture of Tamil Nadu. So Sumita, the stage is yours and the topic is culture of Tamil Nadu.
Thank you, Shri, and good morning, everyone. So when we talk about the culture of Tamil Nadu, the first thing that comes to my mind is the hospitality that we provide to anyone who comes in. So whenever we could have heard from our grandparents that there will always be food for people who suddenly comes home and to whom they will be happy to serve them. But the culture is slowly diminishing nowadays in the way that we treat strangers. So we cannot blame we cannot blame our people that we are not following the culture or anything. It happens that I recently read a story that or a news that there was one person who had come in to ask for water, and when at the time the lady went in to get water, the person came in and looks like he was a robber. So what the lady says after the interview is that we have a culture to be hospitable and we wanted to help people, we want to help strangers. But they have now put me in a situation wherein we are unable to help anyone without thinking that whether they will be a stranger or they will be someone who is waiting for our help. So situations like this make us leave our culture and then think about our safety. But I feel that we should definitely think of some ways to help someone and manage our culture. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumita.
Yeah.
So that was a good one and you gave some valuable information also. So thanks. Okay. So I think with this, we have concluded our table topic session and over to the Toastmaster of the day.
You're on mute.
Thank you, Shri Priya. It was a nice session. Just hold on, please. Yeah, I'm back. So with the conclusion of the two Speechcraft sessions, the prepared speech and the impromptu speech, I hand over the session to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana for his evaluation. Over to you, Lakshmi Narayana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepak. Now we are beginning the second part of the evaluation, the prepared speech evaluations. So before that, I just want to, as a timer, if all the tabletop speakers are qualified, timer, just can you let us know if all the tabletop speakers are qualified?
Yes, Lakshmi Narayan, like all of them are qualified.
Thank you, thank you. This is to note on the names for the voting. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now we move on to the evaluation session. To begin with, to evaluate the first speaker, the Speechcrafter Bharani, let me invite the evaluator DTM Ratish, and just to give a few words about Ratish. DTM Ratish is working as a strategy and planning manager at Cisco, and he's a passionate Toastmaster. He served as a president, VP Education, and even area director in the Toastmasters fraternity, and still is very active Toastmaster. And we have to know the other side of this life. He is also developing an ostrich farm and is ready for the future as well. I invite DTM Ratish to evaluate this Speechcrafter Bharani. Over to you, Ratish.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good morning, everyone, once again. Speechcrafter Bharani. I like the way you started. It was a very, very casual start. You started by saying last 1 week or past 1 week, this is what happened with me and my mentor, how I prepared for the speech. It was very casual. Initially, I thought you're talking to someone nearby, but later I understood that it was a speech delivery. It was very smoothly started. Thank you so much and kudos to you. Open was very good. Set their expectation very clearly, very correct. And it was a smooth transition towards body of your speech, right? That is most important thing. Your opening went well, it was smooth, and the transition towards your body of the speech was also very, very good. Thank you so much for that. And the content was all about living our life. It was indeed a gyan. However, we enjoyed the complete story. What I liked most was you had a humor in your story, at least in 2 places. I smiled, right? So the way you executed that humor touch was awesome, really commendable. Thank you so much for that. Added a good personal story. Every speech delivery needs a personal story so that people can understand it clearly and they will have a takeaway from that. They accept that, oh, okay, it happened really, and I should definitely give it a try. So your personal story was really commendable. And the general story was also great. And of course, you had a lot of, initially you mentioned that it was a Gyan story your mentor rejected. It was indeed a Gyan. However, it was polished with all your story, personal story, and the general story. What went well, I was able to understand the message very clear, why one should focus on our life. That message was crystal clear. Thank you so much for that. Points to take you to the next level. One is the pronunciations, right? You, couple of times you said, live our life. Actually, we heard it as live our life. So the difference between 2 are just opposite, right? So be careful while you're pronouncing few words because that changes the message altogether. Second one, use the complete time allotted to you because you are you had a good content and you were able to deliver everything, but it was very shortly closed is what I felt. Use the complete time given to you. Overall, it was a great execution. Thanks to you and your mentor. Thank you and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Ratish, for an excellent and clear evaluation. You gave highlights and the points of improvement very clearly, and that's, I think that's a lesson for me also to take away from this. Thank you so much. And to evaluate the second speaker is Speechcrafter Manoj. I request Toastmaster Srikanth Kuttikrishnan just to give a single line about him, tell a single line about him. Toastmaster Srikanth Kuttikrishnan is into central government service for the past 30 plus years, and he's a spiritual aspirant. And he has been doing multiple trainings, not just into Toastmasters, in his own personal life and in career as well. I welcome Toastmaster Srikanth to evaluate Speechcraft Manoj. Over to you, Srikanth.
Thank you very much, and good morning to all of you. Money, they say, is a means of exchange and has an intrinsic value. And for Manoj to speak on that was really interesting. What I really admired about the speech is the in-depth knowledge of money is what he had in his mind and what he delivered in that 5 minutes. What was really impressive about his speech was the way he opened by quoting Warren Buffett. Any financial matter, when it comes to investing, there is a reference of Warren Buffett, and this has been done by Manoj. I really admire that, and that was a very powerful opening. Once we hear that name, we get the attention that is required. And the way he put across the value of money, because most of us, I would say people who are poverty-minded would say money doesn't give you sleep, money doesn't give you comfort, money doesn't. But end of the day, money is what makes the world go around. So it is a very important notion and idea that he has convinced in his speech, especially when he said there are about 790 crore people in this planet, and just 10% of them, somewhere close to 79 crores of people, are controlling and enjoying all the wealth that is being created by the other 700 crore people. That's a very intriguing and interesting notion. So that shows how much of research and how much of value he has put into speech. And for me to believe that this is a couple of speech which he has given initially is really impressive. It shows his commitment. I can only praise you for all the effort that you have done, because I'm not worried about the technicalities of your speech, your pause, or anything for that, because you are going to be becoming a Toastmaster and we are going to refine you to become a better speaker. But believe me, you are a good, convincing speaker where you know to put across your ideas and you have the ability to get the audience attention. And even more interesting, they say a closing is what going to stay in the audience mind. And you said, I truly believe in what you said. You can be born poor, but it is not your fault. But if you die poor, it is your fault. And from that point of B to D is what makes the difference, how you become a wealthy person. I truly believe you are a good speaker and you know how to create wealth, because when you create wealth, you are literally removing poverty from the community. Well done, Manoj. Thank you. And I'm so happy that I evaluated you. Wish you all the best. And we are here to mold you into an outstanding speaker. Take my words for that. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srikanth Kuttikrishnan, for such an encouraging evaluation. I really appreciate for that. And that was the speaker number 3 you evaluated. Now I'm going back to speaker number 2, Speechcraft Guru. To evaluate Speechcraft Guru, let me invite Toastmaster Geeta. Toastmaster Geeta, to introduce herself, is a passionate Toastmaster, and she's passionate in improving her communication skills. And she was also CTM's past Sergeant at Arms as well. So I will invite Toastmaster Geeta to evaluate Speechcraft Guru. Over to you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. Good morning to one and all present in today's meeting. And a special good morning to Speechcraft Guru. To tell you all, or to tell you specifically, Speechcraft Guru, it was a really wonderful speech. While your objectives were very simple, you took a step ahead and you went on to give it as a researched speech as well. So kudos on that part as well. You have a plethora of things that went well with your speech today. So let me give you a brief of whatever went well with your speech today. First and foremost, I liked the way you started your speech. You started with a very thought-provoking question that how well did you all sleep the previous night? Well, it got us into asking ourselves, did we really sleep well, or do we really sleep well on the other days as well? And then it was a wonderfully organized speech whereon you went on to tell us that why it is important for us all to sleep well, how we can deliver health benefits from it, and what are the reasons that for which we do not sleep well, and what well we can do so that we sleep better. So that was a beautifully organized speech. Kudos on that part as well. I will also like to commend the way you were confident on the stage. It came out beautifully, and we could also see that you had rehearsed your speech very well. That reflected the way you were very confident. Your practice was reflected by the way you were confident on the stage. Kudos on that part as well. On the whole, a speech without a message will leave an audience frustrated. That sometimes I have felt frustrated many a times listening to somebody without a message. You had a beautiful message that it is important to sleep. It is for our health and for our well-being. It is very, very important for us to relax and sleep better. That was wonderful on your part. Moving on to the recommendations. I wouldn't say I have a plethora of recommendations, but I would say, yes, I do have 2 to 3 recommendations for you. First and foremost, I noticed that you were clasping your hands, which tells us that though you were very confident, you appeared very confident, this kind of gives a negative feeling, probably tries to tell us that you're feeling nervous. What you're feeling inside is your story. We cannot know it until and otherwise you show with these gestures. So open gestures will definitely help. And at a point, I also felt while your speech was beautifully organized, you gave us all the reasons that was why it is important to sleep well. And then when it came to the conclusion, again, you tried to mix it up again. So somewhere there, I felt the organization was a bit lacking. And I also felt you could have had a better conclusion, a strong conclusion would also enhance the message that you're trying to give to the audience. Overall, it was a beautiful speech. If you can work on these commendations and recommendations, we will take your speech to the next level. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Geeta. That was excellent evaluation, and I think people take in the right spirit to improve their skills, and it's a lesson for me as well. Thank you so much for giving excellent evaluation. And now let's move on to the evaluation for the 4th speaker, the speech crafter, Saravanan. And to evaluate speech crafter Saravanan, I invite again DTM Ratish. Over to you, DTM Ratish.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Smile. What a wonderful topic. Thank you so much for choosing that topic. You had a wonderful opening by saying story around smile. So many examples around smile. And the best part is you delivered your speech and you had smile throughout your face. That actually helped us connect to your story, connect with you throughout your speech delivery. What I like the most is the open was good. And as usual, the transition towards body of the message was great. Because you had a couple of stories and you connected the stories in a very well organized way. Thank you so much for that. So many examples, plethora of examples. You had the bit paper story, you had the girlfriend crush story, everything added that actually brought smile when we were listening to you. And actually it also brought the visualization, right? Because in everyone's life, this would have happened at least one time. So that connection was very well executed. Thank you so much for that. What went well overall? The examples were more. So at least 1 or 2 examples would have happened in each and everyone's life. So that connection went very well. To take your overall delivery to the next level, I have a couple of suggestions. I would like you to rehearse a little bit more, because at times I felt like when you move from one example to other example, the connection was missing, or it was in a bits and pieces you were explaining things. That's what I felt. Probably if you would have rehearsed more number of times, you could have avoided the same, is what I felt. And on the second point, while the message was very clear to us, you had, again, many examples, right? Instead of adding so many examples, if you could have had one or two your personal stories to explain why are you suggesting Smile is good for everyone, that would have taken your speech to next level. These are the two things that I felt if you would have added in your speech delivery, that would have taken you to the next level. Overall, you are a great orator. The conclusion was great. The smile message, smile at your home also, that message was very clear, and winner is always surrounded. We remember that. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Ratish. It's once again excellent evaluation. I could see a smile in Saranan's face initially, then he got very serious, and again you ended up making him smile again. That's the power of your evaluation, I suggest. Thank you for it. And now moving on to the evaluation from the last speaker, the Speechcrafter Suresh, and to evaluate the Speechcrafter Suresh, I'll invite Toastmaster Geeta again. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning once again to all of you present here, and a special good morning to Speechcrafter Suresh. That was a wonderful speech, Speechcrafter Suresh, and you had set the expectation high for me. As a homemaker, I'm totally unaware of all these managements, be it personal load management or financial management. And I thought I'm going to, yes, I would definitely benefit listening to your speech, and I was really very excited about your speech. So it was kudos on your part for choosing such a wonderful topic. Moving on to another recommendation is, you had a beautiful example to give us. You told us about Ronaldo and how he went bankrupt. Probably I thought you were trying to tell us that minimizing our whatever we spend or our needs and requirements, probably I thought you would tell us is very important. But you took it to a very next level, and you started asking us questions like, why do you think this is important? And how do you think you can manage your finances well? So that was also a wonderful on your part. But coming to the recommendations part, I think I have more recommendations than commendations for you. First and foremost, I realized that you were not able to manage your time. While this was a topic that required a lot of input from your side, what I noticed is you spend more than, at least until the green color was shown, you were only telling us about why it is important or what is financial management, instead of diving deep into your topic to tell us more about how we could personally manage our finances. Yes, you of course told us about pension. I think you were saying pension management, but we could not get more input out of it because you were again at loss of time and you had to abruptly conclude. So this again is one commendation from me. So when it comes to speaking, your speech should be so well organized that you're able to give a complete thought process to the audience who are eagerly waiting to listen to you. Probably you could have done justice to that part as well. So we also realized that you were a little short on the part of practicing your speech, because at one point I noticed that you were continuously looking at your screen. It gave me a feeling that you were actually reading your script. You can work on all these aspects and you can bring out a better speech the next time. With these recommendations and commendations, I hand over the control to you, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Geeta, for this evaluation. And with that, we come to this prepared speech evaluation for today's meeting. We evaluate all the 5 speakers. And now it's time to move on to the tag report. And to do so, let me invite our timer, Speechcrafter Vignesh, to present his timer report. Over to you, timer Vignesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. So let me share my report to you. So Toastmaster Vignesh for his introduction took about 1 minute 30 seconds. So Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana took 1 minute 10 seconds for his introduction. So today's Toastmaster address took about 2 minutes 59 seconds. Myself, I took about 1 minute 35 seconds. Sandil Kumar for his R counter introduction took about 1 minute 15 seconds. And Grammarian Vignesh took about 1 minute 5 seconds. Coming back to the prepared speakers, Bharanidharan took about 3 minutes 30 seconds. Guru's time was about 5 minutes 28 seconds. Manoj took 7 minutes 20 seconds. Saravanan was about 4 minutes 15 seconds, and Suresh was about 6 minutes and 30 seconds. On to the table topics. So table topic conveyor Sripriya took about 1 minute 24 seconds. Charles took about 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Karthikeyan took about 2 minutes and 1 second. And Lokesh took about 1 minute 24 seconds. And Sumita's was about 1 minute and 40 seconds. On to the evaluation part. The introduction part was about 1 minute 15 seconds. Ratish for Bharani took about 1 minute 58 seconds. Toastmaster Geeta for Guru's evaluation took about 3 minutes 15 seconds. Toastmaster Srikanth for Manoj's evaluation took about 1 minute and 56 seconds. Toastmaster Ratish for Saravanan's evaluation took about 2 minutes 15 seconds. And Toastmaster Geeta for Suresh's evaluation took about 2 minutes 30 seconds. So back to Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana.
Thank you, Vignesh. It was a detailed report. I could see that you covered time, your own time also, as well as a introductory speaker. Thank you so much. And I'll invite the counter Speechcraft Sendil to provide his report.
Thank you, Lakshmanan. Once again, good morning to all Toastmasters and Speechcrafter. Let me share my screen. Hope everyone will be able to see my screen. Okay. So I'm happy that plethora of green cells that I could see in the Excel. So kudos to everyone. So as an accounter for TMOD of the day, Deepak has used the Cranshot 3+ Rs and 2 repetitions and 1 pass. The repetition words are the, every, the, and every. Timekeeper Vignesh used 2 Rs and 1 appropriate fillers, that is so. And Grammarian Vignesh is almost done, like he has done used only 1 pass. Table topic master Sripriya used 3 Rs, 1 appropriate fillers and 1 repetitions. Appropriate fillers are so and the. And general evaluator Lakshmanan used 3+ Rs, 1 fillers and 1 repetitions. Repetition words are with, so. Those are all the words. And coming to the prepared speakers, speaker Bharani used 1 R and is a clean skip. We couldn't able to observe unappropriate filters, repetition or passes. And Speechcrafter Guru uses 3+ Rs and 1 inappropriate filler, like and like words are used. And Speechcrafter Manoj used 3+ Rs and 1 repetitions, and the word is 1 that has been repeated 2 times. Other than that, his clean sweep. And Speechcrafter Saravanan used 1 Rs, 2 unappropriate fillers and 1 repetition. Filler words are watching. And Speechcraft Suresh used 1 Rs and 3 unappropriate filling words and 1 repetition and 1 pass. Filler words are would like and and multiple usage of so. Comes to the table topic speaker, Charles used 3 plus R's and one appropriate filler. The word is like. And Carthiagan used 3 plus R's and one appropriate fillers. An appropriate filler word is so and an. And table topic speaker, Lokesh used 2 plus R's and one repetitions. The words are VB, continuously used VB, and after that. And Sumita used 2 plus R's and one repetition. The word repetition used in it. And on the evaluator, Ritesh and Srikanth, total clean sweep. I couldn't observe anything on any of the fillers or clutch words. From Geeta, I would observe like 1 R's and one repetition, that is I, and let me. Thank you to everyone. Over to Lakshmi Narayan.
Thank you, Sandil, for such a detailed counter report. I really appreciate you for that. And now I'm moving to the last part of the tag team. I invite our Toastmaster Vignesh as a grammarian to present his report. Over to you, Toastmaster Vignesh.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lakshmi Narayan. First, today we had plethora of word of the day usage by our speakers. By Bharani 1 time, Guru 1 time, Deepak 3 times, Manoj 4 times, Karthikeyan 1 time, Toastmaster Geeta 2 times, Distinguished Toastmaster Ratish 1 time, Senthil 1 time. I thank you and congratulate all of you who used the word of the day. Then I learned a lot of new words from today's speech, such as went in vain, which means useless, pragmatic, which means dealing a practical way or everything. Then breadwinner, a person who earns most of money. Then lullaby, that soothing song to calm and sleep. Then cruel and soothing, ceases, which means stops. Insightful and thought-provoking, die-hard fan. Collated, which means discovered or examined. Bits and pieces. Also, I had noticed a lot of alliterations. Alliterations means repeating starting sound. So such as bring back. So the words alliterations used today is bring back, deep dive, lessons learned, smooth starting, crystal clear, intriguing and interesting. These are all the alliterations. Then metaphors also I noticed. Metaphors means something compared to some other thing, some relatively comparing one thing to another. Smile is a cosmetic, which is to make us beauty. Speech was a Gyan. These are all the metaphors. And for the recommendations part, I have few things. Instead of saying very needed, we can say necessary or essential or mandatory. Good morning, everyone. We could say good morning to everyone, which is like convoluted style. Then few articles were misused, like am behavior, that should be used like a behavior. And can I audible? We can say am I audible or can you hear me? Then he used most of money instead of most is the superlative degree, so most should comes with the most. And took about 1 minute, we can say like took around 1 minute. These are all my report. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vignesh. That was an excellent report, and you gave a lot of points of improvement as well. So something is applicable to me as well. Thank you so much, Vignesh, and thanks to all the tag team for providing an excellent report. And now it's time for me as General Evaluator to provide my report. So I'm going to present you whatever I observed, and right from the beginning to the to till now, whatever I found you. So when I noticed, like when we started the meeting, it was just exactly on time. At 10 o'clock we started. Those delayed the recording part a little later. It was started on time, and the meeting went on from that without any delay or any interruptions in between. Kudos to all the role players and members in this team. And the TMOD, just want to appreciate team for giving a very flawless beginning and then flawless continuation of the session. He was the real master of the ceremony because he had a right connect from each speaker. So he had a from the transition from one speaker to another speaker was very smooth and flawless. And kudos to you, Toastmaster Deepak. And we had 5 prepared speakers, though we had planned for 6. The one was not available at the last minute, but still we managed to complete the session with the 5 speakers. And what really surprised me is that all the 5 speakers were going through the same project objective, like organize your speech. But in addition to that, all the speakers, as the Speechcraft Guru mentioned in the chat, like all these topics had an interconnection, and I think that itself is an organized, prepared speech session by all the speakers together. That was really well done. I don't know whether you planned it or not. It came out very well, and because each and every speaker had his own inspiring topic to discuss on, like be it the life, the money, the financial plot, and most important, the sleep part. So all these were, I mean, Guru talked about the importance of sleep, and immediately the next speaker, Manoj, talked about the birth and death and the choice in between birth and death, how you're going to choose. And then came the smile. That was the best part of the speech, where the Saranan made everyone smile. And then came the yarn on personal finance by Suresh. And I really want to appreciate each and every speaker for coming out with an excellent topic and excellently organizing your speech and delivering a perfect speech. Thank you and kudos to you all. And equally complimenting to that is the evaluation as well, which we already covered. So the evaluators, or each and every speaker had the right inputs and right appreciation and the points of improvement to go on. So please work on that as well. And to mention about the table topic speaker and table topic master, Sri Priya has done a really good job. She gave she picked up only the Speechcraft members and gave a very simple and relatable topic. So that makes the speakers comfortable to come and speak. It was not even not all complicated. Everything. So all the speakers were made to speak from their part. Kudos to you for choosing those kind of topics, the 5 topics. But only suggestion for me from this side is, since we had more time to cover up, so the speakers, one speaker has gone down and we have more time. So my suggestion is to go with 2 or 3 more table topic speakers you can cover. Maybe you can come up prepared with 3 to 4 topics in more than what you planned for, so that just in such situations when people when there is a dropout on the speakers, you can cover up from the table topic session as well. So the topics were really good. It was more interesting. So I thought as if you add 1 or 2 more people, it will be much pleasant and interesting to see that table topic speeches. But overall, it was a good session by you. And then the tag report, the tag team, they really did a good job. Not mentioning about the Toastmaster Vignesh, the Speechcrafter Vignesh and the Speechcrafter Sandhya, you did a really good job. Your reports were very clear. So overall, the meeting went on very well. The day by day, we improved the quality as such. Because I didn't come for one meeting, but from the day 1 to the 3rd meeting, and again this meeting, I've seen a lot of improvements in the quality of the meeting. And as I always used to say, quality is a continuous improvement process. We keep improving this quality of the meeting with your presence as a role player and as a speaker. Please contribute more to this meeting in quality wise. You've been doing it already, you can do it better as well. So it went on very well. And to summarize, this meeting was an excellent meeting, as it went on with the perfect quality. And we covered up everything within the time. So we had extra time as well to cover up more, so we can fit those times in future. So let's be very time conscious also. If we have extra time, we can cover up the time as well. So other than that, the overall this went on very well, and thanks to every speakers and role players. And with that, I hand over the control back to our Toastmaster of the day, Deepak Arugiraj. Over to you.
Thank you, Lakshmi. That was a great session with interesting topics on life lessons and valuable evaluations. Before we arrive at the conclusion or the closure of today's session, I wish to add some more views of the theme I planned for the day. So leadership is not all about strategizing or decision making. So it has various other traits as well, right? Compassion. So in the early 1980s, AIDS was spreading around the world, and even people were afraid of touching the AIDS patients. There was a poll conducted in USA, and around 50% of the people voted for quarantining them, the patients. So by then, Princess Diana, she was in a particular hospital of AIDS, and she shook hands of an AIDS patient. So thereby, an act of compassion can be a leadership trait. So she changed the perception of the people, right? So by touching, AIDS will not spread, is what the message is spread. And it has changed the people's perception. Yousafzai Malala, so leadership through survival. Martin Luther Jr., leadership through inspiration. So the various other traits are also there, so which we need to inculcate in us. I'm sure that, and also I wish that we develop these characters in us and be great leaders in the near future. With that, I conclude the session, and upcoming is the most wanted session, the polls. Back to you, Presiding Officer Lakshmi, for the polls.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Deepak, for handling this meeting excellently. And now I take the hat as a presiding officer, and I wanted to say that so whatever the meeting is, the way we started, we are coming to an end. Still is I don't feel like we are coming close to 2 hours of time. I feel we still have more time. So before I go further, I just want to say I'm going to start the poll now. So let me start the poll from the best speaker. Please cast your vote and choose the best speaker. Okay, the meeting is done. So let me go to the next poll. I'm going to launch the poll for TT speaker. And launching the poll for tag player. So please choose the best role player with DM Modi and TT Master. and finally the best evaluator between the three evaluators. Okay. So now the polling is over. So I'm ready with the results. But before that, I just want to have feedback from some members, the Speechcraft members. Or let me begin from our Toastmaster Shrikant Kuttikrishnan. Sir, please can you give your feedback on this meeting?
Good morning, everybody. There is nothing much that I can add apart from what my VP Education, Lakshmi Narayana, had given a wonderful feedback on the entire meeting. It was very elaborative and comprehensive. Minute details were also given. And apart from that, what I really want to add is I'm very much impressed by the commitment shown by the entire team of Speechcrafters. I simply couldn't believe myself that you had put in so much of effort into this. This shows not only in a Toastmasters meeting, but in your life and in your workplace, you are a committed lot of people. That's a wonderful trait for you. And I really wish you all the very best. It shows your commitment in your life too. Having said that, and I would also like to congratulate each and every speaker. 5 topics gave me 5 different ideas and takeaways for me to give in another club when I get a chance to speak or do an education session. There was finance, there was about lack of sleep, what not, everything. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant ideas were conveyed. Toastmaster of the day, he was really outstanding. He seems to be a thoroughbred professional while conducting a meeting like this. I'm so happy about it. And the table topic master, I remember her name was Speechcraft Sri Priya, and she was so fluent and she was so calm, and the way she presented, it gave a confidence to the speaker that they can attempt and give a speech. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm really happy to be a part of today's meeting, and I wish you all the very best. And let me also remind you, you have the gift in you. Please do not put it to rest. Bring it out and serve to mankind what has been given to you, to your family, your community, your organization, and to the world as a whole, because you have a role to change people's life, and you have taken the first step in the right direction. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Back to Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayanan.
Thank you, Shrikant, for once again giving an encouraging message to all the people there. Yeah, very, as you truly said, everyone seems to be very experienced. Maybe they are ready to do a Speechcraft session to their set of people when they become a Toastmasters. They're experienced now. And with that, I think I'll come to the results session. The results are here available. To begin with, the best tag player between the accounter and the timer is the accounter. Speechcraft has sent it. Kudos to him. And the best, the role player between the Toastmaster of the day and the TT master, it's obviously our Toastmaster of the day, Deepak, for handling this meeting wonderfully without any glitches right from the beginning to the end. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. And then the best TT speaker is Lokesh Dilibabu. Congrats, Lokesh Dilibabu. And the best speaker is obviously, I think by this time you all have guessed, it's Speechcrafter Manoj. Congrats, Manoj. And from the evaluation part, we have the evaluators from the Toastmasters fraternity, and there is a tie between 2 evaluators. So I couldn't judge between, find anyone. I can't cast a vote, so I don't want to decide also. the best evaluators are both DTM Ratish and Toastmaster Srikanth Kutikrishnan. Yeah, thank you so much. With that, we are coming to the end of this meeting. I would adjourn this meeting for the next Sunday the same time, and I end this meeting now. And I'll continue this recording for now because we're going to have an education session from our DTM Venu Nilagandan. I just want to check. DTM Venu, are you available now?
Good morning, dear. Are we giving any break?
Yeah, I wanted to check with you. Shall we have a break for some time? So it's up to you. Shall we have 5 to 10 minutes? What's your choice? We can have a 10 minutes break, right? It's 11:46 now. We can meet again around 11:56. The Zoom meeting will be there. I won't disconnect, so you can come back and join. We will meet again at 11:56. Have a break.
Good morning. I will join in 1 minute. Sorry for keeping you wait. Lakshmiji, can we start? Good morning.
Yes, I think everyone is there. So almost all are back. I think you can start.
Yeah. Good morning, all. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Thank you. Can I ask you all, please switch on your videos? So some people are invisible. Yeah. Thank you so much. Barnidharan, Sumita, Suresh. I just want to see your face because first time I am just patching you, means I am seeing you all. Smita, are you there? Suresh? Yeah, get ready and switch on. So Today I witnessed a couple of speeches of yours, and you are doing well. Kudos to you. And I hope the Toastmaster Abhirami and Toastmaster Lakshminarayanan and DTM Ratish, Geeta, everyone is doing the job great. Now what we are going to do. So far you have learned a lot of things about public speaking, right? So how to structure, how to deliver a speech, how to write a script, everything you learned, I hope, from the Abhirami and others. And today we are going to see something else. That's a very, very important thing. Can anyone say, I heard from Abhirami that you have already learned about what is the purpose of a speech, or how to get it, get to the point, right? She might have conducted the session, right? Now I'm going to ask some questions. It's not a teachers or students are not like a classroom session. I just wanted an interactive session so that we can keep it another 30 minutes engaging, because I know that after attending 2 hours Speechcraft, you all want rest. You just get rid of this session. That's why I want you all to be engaged throughout the 30 minutes. So first question is, what's the purpose? How many purposes are there in a public speaking? Can anyone say that? There are 2 kinds of purposes. And what are they? Why you are delivering a speech? First of all, why you are attending the Speechcraft? That's my first question. Without a purpose, you are not attending this Speechcraft, right? You may say that we want to develop the communication skill, we want to develop the presentation skill. No, apart from that, why you are delivering a speech or why you are giving the presentation? Yeah, anyone? Let it be wrong, nothing wrong, because we are learning. We are all learning, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Suresh.
To improve the art of public speaking.
Yeah, correct. That's the purpose of attending the Speechcraft, right? So yeah. Why you are delivering a speech?
Okay.
Loss of stage fear? Loss of stage fear?
Stage fear. So
Yes.
if you are having stage fear, you can simply avoid it, right? You need not go on stage and deliver a speech. Despite the stage fear, you are delivering a speech. You are trying to stand on the stage. Why?
Okay, I'll tell you. To inform,
conveying message.
To persuade the audience and also to entertain the audience.
Exactly. That's first of all, there are 2 kinds of purposes. One is called.
One to add is, if I have the stage fear and if I'm running away, I cannot be on the top. So this platform will help all our speech crafters to break that, and then will help us to perform well in our careers or in any other platforms we can able to express ourselves. This ice breaking, everything will help. So that is one kind of expectation from this program.
Exactly, that Guru, that's the purpose of the Speechcraft. That's exactly what you said is very good. That's correct. But my question is, what's the purpose of a speech? As Speechcrafter Manoj said, that there are 2 types of purposes. One is called general purpose, another one is called specific purpose. There are 4 general purposes out there. One is to inform, one is to entertain, one is to persuade, one is to inspire. So without knowing this general purpose, if you are going to deliver a speech, it's just like traveling without having any idea about where you are traveling. So first you need to understand what's your destination is. After that, you have to start traveling. So that's called general purpose. First, have a basic idea. Sorry. So let me explain with this, sharing my slide. Lakshmi, can you give me the right to share the slide?
Yeah, I made you as co-host.
Yes. Yeah. So first we need to understand the purpose. Purpose is the basic structure of your speech. Before writing your script, you have to know why I'm going to deliver this speech. So when you have this purpose, then you are very clear. So general purpose, there are 4 general purpose. Whether to inform, before writing the script, you have to ask yourself whether why I'm delivering this speech, whether I'm going to inform something or simply entertain my audience, or I'm going to persuade my audience, or I'm going to inspire my audience. Sometimes you may have more than one general purposes. For example, if you want to persuade somebody, sometimes you have to inform them that they don't know. For example, suppose if you want to persuade your colleagues or your office staff, quit smoking. For that, you have to inform the bad effect of smoking. So, but your main general purpose is to persuade, but you are utilizing the inform purpose also. So first, there are the, any of your speech will fall under one of these general purpose. So before writing a script, just to ensure, first question you have to ask is, what general purpose I'm going to have in my speech? So after that, you will be very clear what's need for a general purpose. Next question is, we have another purpose I told you, that's a specific purpose. Can anyone say what's a specific purpose? Manoj, you can't escape like this, you can answer. Yeah, specific purpose. I hope Abhirami has already taught you. Specific purpose, what's a specific purpose?
It is like an advertisement. I think if I want to sell anything, at the time I need to, attract the people and I need to inform the, my product details. That is, it will give some, some benefit for me. So I'm just attracting the people and convey this message.
Okay, thank you, Francis. And what's the difference between specific purpose and general purpose?
General purpose can be anything, kind of information, or it can be like of a general audience or fitting to the common ideologies and all. Specific purpose is to persuade someone to do what you wanted to do. Maybe like if you are a political speaker, if you are in politics, a specific purpose is to inspire the audience to vote for your party or yourself to make you win.
Okay, thank you, Manoj. More or less, mainly that word itself, they gives the meaning. General purpose meaning it's a generic term. Specific purpose means you are specifically saying that this is my purpose. Let me ask you a question. Suppose if I ask you, one of you, what you will do next Sunday. Sometimes you may say that I'm going to travel. Okay, now you said that I'm going to travel. Suppose I want to, I didn't ask a further question. You left. And suppose if I want to meet you in person, can I meet you? No, because I don't know where you are traveling, right? You simply generally, that's a general purpose. When you say that I'm going to travel is just a general purpose. But if I ask you from where to where you are traveling, in that case, suppose you are saying that I'm going to travel to Bangalore from Chennai. Now I am very clear. You are specifically saying that this is my traveling schedule or my purpose. So this is specific purpose. You got my point? Suppose if you are saying that I'm going to inform, what you are going to inform? When you are saying that, when you are making your entire speech in a single line, that's called specific purpose. Suppose if I am going to inform something about the purposes of my public speaking, that's my specific purpose. If I simply say that I'm going to inform, that's a general purpose. Clear? Karthikeyan, clear? Any doubt? I'll make it little more clear. See, for example, you are here. In a public speaking is also like this. Now You say that I'm going to travel. Where you are going to travel, that's a specific purpose. Speech is like you are traveling. Before writing your script, you have to understand, you have to know your route properly. For example, this is Chennai, this is Bangalore. You are going to travel. So first you have to understand the route. The need for specific purposes, when you are very clear about your specific purpose, you will not deviate from your route, right? When you know the route from Chennai to Bangalore, you will not go to Tirupati, or you will not go to Pondicherry, because you know very clearly this is my route. Your speech is also like that. When you are very clear about your specific purpose, that route of your speech, you will not deviate from your route. That's why we want this specific purpose. For example, if I want to persuade my audience to practice more in public speaking, right? To develop their communication skill, or if I am going to persuade my audience to join Toastmaster, I will talk everything related to that subject. No way I will not talk about something about my festival at my hometown, or something about my office thing, which is no way related to the communication or leadership or Toastmaster. Exactly. Suppose if I am traveling from here to there, how it is wrong to travel to Tindivanam. The same way, if you, when you are delivering a speech, if you are deviating from your specific purpose, you are wasting your time. You will not reach the destination. That destination in your speech is just delivering your message. Or suppose if you want to persuade your audience, if you are going here and there, your audience will lose that interest and they will not get the message. So in a public speaking, it is very clear how much you deliver. That doesn't matter. How much your audience receive, that matters. There are three segments or three stages in a public speaking. The first one is called, the first one is called get into the subject. The second stage, get the subject into you. And third one is get the subject in the heart of your audience. Can anyone explain it? Let me repeat it. First step, get into the subject. Second stage, get the subject in you. And third one is get the subject in the heart of your audience. Just can anyone? Saravana? Can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like if you speak any topic to understand, first we need to understand what is the subject of the topic and how to reach to the audience. We can't mix any other content in the topic and to unnecessary things to the audience. Like if you are the example, whatever you're giving should be understandable from the audience, then it will be easy to reach the audience. They can easily understand the subject of the topic.
Thank you, Saravana. First step, that get into the subject means you need to, before delivering any, giving a speech on any topic, you should be expert. You should be a little bit aware of that subject. So first you have to get into the subject. For that, you need to read magazine or you need to do something, some kind of research about that subject. So get into the subject. That's the first stage. So once you did that, the subject will be inside you because you will be expert, right? Get the subject into you. First, you are going to get into the subject. Once the first stage is over, the subject will be in you. The first two stages are very, very easy because it totally depends on you. Personally, you can do it. But third one is very difficult. Get the subject in the heart of your audience. It is not easy. Through delivery, through proper practice, through your script or content, you can, then only you can do that. For that, you need practice, right? For that purpose, we are going to, today we are going to have another main important segment called how to say it. So everybody can talk, right? If I am asking you to deliver, many of you can talk. Some of you may, sometimes it's through our words, sometimes through our body languages. So can I ask one question, easy question? How many percentage of our words contribute in our communication? Can anyone say that? Just guess, wild guess. How many percentage of our words, verbal, contribute in our communication? Just try a guess. Yes, Deepak.
75%.
75%, awesome, yeah. Anyone else? Give it, it's not an exam. You will not get a first grade or second grade or paid mark. Yes, Vimala, you can try. You are thinking that. I know you, you want to say something. Yes, Vimala, just give it a try.
I think I agree to Deepak, around 70 to 75%. That's what came into my mind.
Exactly. Yes, Karthikeyan?
Me too, same actually. More than 80% words.
Words, right? Yeah. Francis, what do you think?
I think only 5% we will be using.
45.
That's the limit. Only 5.
Only?
Anything 5%.
30.
Yeah.
30, right?
Yeah, 3, yes.
Oh, 30. That means failed. Verbal words failed. Okay. What about Delhi Babu? Delhi Babu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It's almost close to 45, I guess.
Yeah, 45. But the fact is only 7%. I'm not saying that, it's a research. Only 7%. Remaining 93% is a non-verbal communication. Out of that, 38 is parallel languages or voice modulation, and 53 is our body language. Sorry, 55 is body languages. So now you understand the power of your words. No matter how good you are at English or how much vocabulary you are, you might be a walking dictionary, no use. Until unless you learn how to deliver. That's why I told you that third part is very, very, very difficult. Get the subject in the heart of your audience. So for that today we have that segment. So how to say it. Sorry, I'm having some trouble. 1 minute. Give me a minute. Sorry. Hope now you can watch my screen, right? Can anyone confirm it?
Yes. Yes.
I have some techniques. Yes. Yeah. Now the next question. I'm sorry. Okay. Next question is, what's the difference between presentation and public speaking? Just anyone, please?
Like a presentation, we will have all the information, and we will keep it in the slide, and we have to present all the things. But public speaking is like
It will be any uncertainly we have to prepare the question. We have to answer for that one in front of public. So that is a different. When we have a presentation, we will have all the ideas. We have all the data. We can easily present and we can prepare and we can present. But when we go to public speaking, in front of public, what are the questions they ask? We have to certainly we have to answer for all the questions who people are asking.
Public speaking, you are not giving answers, right?
No, when we entertain the audience, right? So we have to give them all the way of presentation with all the information, everything, right?
Okay. Somewhat. Anyone else? Do you want to give a try?
In presentation, there won't be a need to persuade or entertain the audience, but in public speaking, it will be there.
I'm sorry to differ. Sometimes if you want to give you are a marketing manager, you want to make your buyer or clients to buy your items. You are giving a presentation. There you are doing persuade. You have to persuade your audience, means clients, right?
Okay, then it's a combination of presentation and public speaking. So that salesperson is doing.
Okay.
Both have to be in inline, right? Like for doing the public speaking, you have to be a very good presenter as well as like you have to be an public speaker.
Okay. So more or less true, but mostly in our real life, in presentation, what we are doing is maybe it's wrong. Formal way of presenting data or ideas to the audience. There you can't crack a joke or you can't quote something. What the data or the ideas exactly from that, just like a syllabus oriented, you have to provide or present that data to your audience, right? Whereas in the public speaking, you're not only providing data, you are also trying to create an emotional connection with your audience, right? So most of the time you are trying to give a speech or something which maybe it's an entertaining speech or persuade your audience or to inspire your audience. What actually you are doing is you are trying to create an emotional connection with them. You are making them laugh, you are making them cry, right? That's emotional connection. Because that emotional responses in public speaking is usually by work with the help of non-verbal communication as well as wordplay and rhetorical devices. As I said, it's only our words are only 7%. Remaining is non-verbal communication. Today, we are not going to look at the non-verbal communication. We are going to see next week or next to next week. Today, we are going to focus on the wordplay and rhetorical devices. So with the wordplay and rhetorical devices, how we can make the emotional response. For that, let me go to the slide back. See, what's the difference between this slide and this one? Yeah, what's the difference between this slide and this one? Can anyone?
The first one is kind of just data which has no picture or anything in it. Second one has some picture and some elements to attract the audience.
Exactly. See, the first one is very plain. Only the data, the presentation, right? The second one, I have added a lot of pictures and visual aids and something I am trying to attract with the colorful font and different font size and the picture. See, this is exactly our speech should be there. So if you are going to deliver a speech without the rhetorical devices or the non-verbal communication, your speech would be like this plain slide. So you need to add some spices in your speech, like this slides with a picture or something, so that you can evoke emotional response. The reason behind this one is scientifically we have two sides of brain. Most of you know one right side and left side. Left side is always logic. It needs a lot of reason and logic and facts and figures, and it doesn't care about your emotion. Whereas the right side brain is logical. It's always focusing on emotion, colorful drawings, pictures. So it doesn't take and it doesn't mind if you are not giving any reason or logic. But whereas left side, it's always logic and figures and facts. So as a speaker, most of the time, your duty is just focus the right side of your audience. Because if you are giving a facts or you are trying to give your information to your audience, most of the time your audience brain, left side brain will question or reflect it. Why it should be? Why not? So they will not accept that. Whatever you are delivering, it will reflect. They will not accept that because the ego class. Sometimes if you are giving us facts or figures, if I am talking to you and you, few of you think that why this guy is teaching us, why can't I already knew some of these ideas, some of the facts already, why he is saying to me. So this is a left side problem. Whereas right side, if you are talking to somebody emotionally, they will accept it because they don't require any logic. For this, I've given an example. This dialogue, most of you know that, right? Sorry.
கண்ணா பண்ணிங்க தான் கூட்டமா வரும். சிங்களா தான் வரும்.
How many of you like this dialogue? Very nice, right? Captivating, correct? Because Taleva Superstar is saying that. Kanna panninga dhaan kootama varum. Singla dhaan varum. How many of you? How many of us? Wow, what a dialogue, man! Very good. So this is exactly the proper example for our right side brain because he, with his style, that fighting sequence, he attacked us at the right side because that's a factual error. What Rajinikanth said is factual error. Generally, lions.
Kana panninga da kootama varum.
Lions usually move with a group as a pride of lions. They never go alone because let it be a hunting or let it be their lifestyle. They are moving with a group pride. They are not moving alone. But still we accepted, even though it's a factual error, because Rajinikanth said that. Because Rajinikanth attacked us at the right side. He appealed to our right side, not to the left side. Till this moment, most of you didn't question that, right? Because it's Rajinikanth said that, because the way he conveyed that dialogue. So in our speech also, we need to use this kind of technique, some kind of punch dialogue or some kind of way we are conveying through our styles. We have to attack our audience right side brain. So this is very important in public speaking. This is Aristotle, the first man. We can say that the oratory skill, Aristotle gave a lot of basic skills, competency he has given for public speaking. This is a very famous rhetorical triangle by Aristotle. These are credibility, called ethos, pathos, logos. Ethos means credibility. Who said this? Trustworthiness or reputation or tone or style. See, this was said by Rajinikanth, the dialogue. So we accepted. He didn't question Rajinikanth. The trustworthiness, the reputation. So suppose if you are going to deliver a speech in front of a group of audience and you are not a doctor or a physician, you are not from the medical field, you are asking everyone to take a vaccination for corona or something else. First question they would ask, who are you? Are you a doctor or a physician? So if you are a physician or if you are a doctor, if you are giving that advice or the suggestion, they will accept. That's a credibility. So as a speaker, first you have to create the credibility. Next, it's called pathos. Pathos is very much important because that's emotional, what we talk. Emotionally, you have to attack your audience. The next one is logos, logic. There should be a logic. There should be a reason. If somebody says that don't take hot tea or hot water in a plastic cup because it will create, it may lead to cancer, right? Most of the time we heard that. I too accepted that point. Later I discussed with an oncologist and he said that we can't give that kind of conclusion until unless we do some kind of research. Without research, we can't come to that kind of conclusion because we have to first do the research. So logic is very much important. If you are saying that I can eat 20 idlis, yes, you can say that, but you have to prove it. So logic is matter. After that, this is very much important. How to say it. Anybody can use a word, right? We can deliver a speech. You might have delivered more than 2 or 3 speeches so far. But this is very important. How to choose your words. There are 3 elements you have to consider. Select the right words and sentence structure and communicate your ideas clearly, accurately. And next, rhetorical devices. I will say what is rhetorical devices and to enhance and emphasize ideas. And next, eliminate jargon and unnecessary words. Use a correct grammar. These are the very 3 elements you need to focus on your speech when you are writing a script and delivering your speech. Most of the time, what we do, we think that using that complicated words or using the good vocabulary or something very nice words, something that's nobody can understand that kind of words. If you are using, people would think that we are genius. No, it's wrong. So your main motto or main purpose is to deliver the message to your audience. So use short words maximum because your purpose is to deliver the message. These words are not for you, for the audience. Keep it in mind. The words are not for you, for the audience. So always keep your audience in mind. In the same manner, short sentences. If you are using some kind of complicated sentences, your audience can't understand. In the same manner, if you are using some words which is advanced level vocabulary, I know that flabbergasted or something instead of surprise. So you can easily, they can't understand your audience. So keep your audience always in mind, whom you are talking. Next, short paragraph. Don't make it lengthy paragraph because they can't, don't feed more than your audience can digest. Most of the time we are doing that mistake. We are delivering, we never bother about whether they can digest it. So that's a very important. So choosing your words right for the ear of your audience, not to showcase your skill. I know that because I am the expert in that particular subject. So I want to convey everything. That's a problem we have. Most of the time, we are trying to deliver whatever we knew. I might be an expert in something. I might be a PhD holder in something. That doesn't mean that I have to deliver everything to my audience. That's the wrong thing. Next, be specific. And because sometimes the words has different meaning based on the connotation or context, situation. For example, if you say that I have a dog in my house, okay? So when I come to your house, I see you have a dog. When I open the door, I see the dog, same dog. But when you say that I have the dog in my home, it's a pet, it's a love, right? Something signifies or explaining about love because you are saying that it's your pet dog. But when I saw your dog, it is not love. I have the fear whether I should enter or not. The same dog evokes different emotion. So you should be very clear about the word and be very clear about the particular word. For example, when during the Iraq war, George Bush used a kind of statement. He said that this is the last crusade war. This is the last crusade war. That created a lot of criticism because crusade war is the war by the Christians against the Muslims. So when he stated that statement, everyone questioned that, everyone criticized. Later he almost asked an apology and he said that it's a slip of tongue. So be very clear about your words. To who you are speaking. During after the independence, once that India and Pakistan was partition separated, Jinnah was giving a kind of interview to the British reporters. During that time, he was giving, he was good at English because he got all his degree from Britain and all. So he was delivering his speech in English, very good English. All of a sudden, he got excited and he shouted, Pakistan Jindabad. The British reporter didn't understand that. They heard like Pakistan in the bag. Pakistan in the bag. Why Jinnah is saying that Pakistan in the bag? So later they clarified and they came to know that Pakistan Jindabad became Pakistan in the bag. So be very clear about what you are saying, to whom you are saying that. Don't try to showcase your skill. Another example, I would say that sometimes once there are two scholars. One scholar was walking along with his servant. He's a kind of layman. During the they are walking in a forest. On the opposite side, one guy, another scholar came with some problem. That this scholar found that he some problem in his walking, kind of limping or something. Then he asked him, "What happened?" Then it's a Tamil. He said that Akkale veleile, Mukkale undina moovirandu pogaile, Aindu thalai nagam ondu aalda padithaduve. The layman didn't understand anything. Then this guy replied, Patranin Putranin Mitruvin Satruvin Kale Vangite. As a layman, even I know you also, even though you are good at Tamil, you didn't understand anything, right? It's a Tamil only. This guy asked what happened. He said that Ikkale Poludinile, Mukkale Undi, Namuvirandu Pogaile, Aindu thalai nagam ondu aalda padithaduve. This guy replied, Patranin Putranin Mitruvin Satruvin Kale Vangite. Can anyone say what does it mean? You're all Tamil. Some of you may be well versed in Tamil, right? That problem is that guy said that what happened, he said that Ikkale Poludinile, that means this morning. Ikkale Poludinile. Mukkale means that stick, walking stick. Mukkale, moondavathu kaal. Third leg. Mundi nan pogaile. Moovirandu pogaile. Moovirandu means 3 into 2, it's a 6. 6 means 6. In Tamil, 6 means river. Moovirandu aathu pakam pogaile. Aindu thalai nagam. That's a kind of tone or moovirandu nerinji mullun song. That's adu vandu kuthirichi. That's actually he wanted to say. Then this guy replied, Patranin Putranin. Patran means Tasaradan. Patranan, Patna Tasar. Patranin Putran, Raman. Ramanin Mitru vandu Vibhisanan. Vibhisanan in Satru vandu Vali. Vali in Patranin, Mutranin, Mitruvin, Satruvin, Kale Vagite. Patinin Kale Vag. Vali oda Patni vandu yaru pathina Thare. Thareila ulla and kaal, tunaikal, kaal eduthinga tharai. Thareila thechingna and the mullu poyironu you reply. See, we should not do that. We have to understand whom we are talking. If you are talking like that, I know that I am a poetic, I am a scholar. So most of the time our audience are just like the layman. We have to understand their situation and their problems. So next one is vivid words. Your words should describe what you are saying, that your audience can see, touch, hear, smell, taste, whatever you are describing. When you are saying that I have the headache or I have the pain, you have to make your audience feel the pain. When you are saying that I saw that the huge mountain, you have to make your audience feel and visualize that mountain. For example, you can say that my train was moving like an anaconda in the jungle. Now you can make your audience visualize, okay, anaconda, the train is moving like anaconda. That kind of comparison we can use using the rhetorical devices. So a lot of rhetorical devices is there. Even today, your grammarian mentioned most of the rhetorical devices, simile, a metaphor, antithesis, many alliteration. We can't teach everything. This one you can learn from rhetorical devices. You need not learn all the rhetorical devices. Most of the rhetorical devices in speech, the great orators used in our history. For example, this is called Anaphora. Anaphora means every word with repeating. For example, the Julius Caesar here said, "Veni, vidi, vici." I came, I saw, I conquered. Here, I is repeating, right? This is the way they are trying to create some impact in your speech. Next, Mark Twain says, "It is not the size of the dog in the fight. It is the size of the fight in the dog." These kinds of devices will attract your audience. Just like the slide, which was so plain, which another one is very attractive, right? So same manner, you can use some kind of rhetorical devices in your speech so that you can attract your audience. Next one is also, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. So this is a great orators. They are using that kind of rhetorical. This is called anaphora. If the same words coming at the end of the sentence, that's called epiphora. For example, that government of the Abraham Lincoln's famous quote about the democracy. The government of the people, by the people, for the people. Just next, another speech. Here, Lyndon Johnson, he's giving the speech. There is no Negro problem. There is no Southern problem. There is no Northern problem. There's only an American problem. And we are met here tonight as Americans, not as a Democrats or not the Republican, or we are met here as American to solve the problems. See, this is the way they are emphasizing. I hope you can understand that proper problems here. He's emphasizing the unity among the Americans. So you can use, I say, another words also, some other sentences, but you can't create that impact like this. So to create that impact, you have to use rhetorical devices. Exactly at this, how Lyndon Johnson has used. And most of us know that Steve Jobs is known for his presentation skill, right? The way he presents, the way he announces or something new phone or something new invention. It is totally captivating. He used a lot of rhetorical devices. For example, stay hungry, stay foolish, anaphora. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Next one is called antitheater. Antitheater means he's saying something which is controversial to the previous one, or something. The same sentence you can, or paragraph, you can find two contradictory or something which is totally opposite to each other. For example, here he is introducing something, the kind of things you would find on a typical phone, but in a very untypical way now. See, this is the way he's attracting his audience. And next one is called simile. Simile means you are comparing something with another thing. Means like whenever you are using like or as, it is called simile. It works like a magic. Next one is called metaphor. Metaphor is you are directly making that particular thing as the same thing what you are comparing. Here, a huge heart transplant to Intel microprocessor. Usually we don't have a microprocessor and all heart transplant, just the way he are using the rhetorical devices. And next he is going to introduce something like the touch phone. When he introduced the touch phone, or in a computer or a Mac, Apple Mac, the way he's using that, he used that rhetorical device called climax. Slowly he's going up. For example, first was the mouse, second was the click wheel, and now we are gonna bring multi-touch to the market. This is called climax. And next one is called germination. That's a 58 songs every second of every minute of every hour of every day. So this is a way Steve Jobs delivered his presentation. He used a lot of rhetorical devices. You can also use rhetorical devices. This is one of the Martin Luther King's very famous antithesis. He used that I have a dream. That's kind of anaphora. every paragraph when he started, he used the word, I have a dream. But here he uses another technique also called antithesis. Antithesis is almost as an antiload. Here he is using that concept differently. See, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not judge by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. During that time, they were judged by the color of the skin, right? At that time, he brought this issue. So it's called antithesis, exactly opposite to what is happening. That's another rhetorical device. This is a very famous one by the Churchill during the World War II. See, here I would say to the House, I said to those who have to join this government, I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. See, this is the way we have to learn. Why they are being called as a good orator or the great orator, because the way they use the word, the rhetorical devices and many things. This is called tricolumn. Veni, see, and be sincere, be brief, and be seated. See, it's attractive, right? This is advice given by Franklin Roosevelt. And this is done by Barack Obama recently. Tonight, we gathered to affirm the greatness of our nation, not because of the height of our scrappers, or the power of our military, or the size of our economy. See, the way he's bringing something, just imagine how we use. Suppose if you are asked to write a speech like this, what words you will use? That makes a difference between the great speaker and us. Sometimes we are just exaggerating, right? I'm drawing in your paperwork. Sometimes we can use to emphasize that how difficult or how exactly you are in. Sometimes you have to exaggerate. It's called hyperbole. I'm drawing in paperwork. At that time, when you are delivering some speech, when you are saying that I'm busy at that time, instead of saying that I'm busy at that time in my work, if you are using that word, I'm drowning in paperwork, that will create some kind of impact. Your audience can understand exactly what you are trying to say. So at last, speak in such a way that others love to listen to you. Listen in such a way that others love to speak to you. This is a Toastmasters way. So when you, for the first part, speak in such a way that others love to listen to you, you have to use a lot of rhetorical devices. Unfortunately, we are connecting to the virtual, means online platform. Making connection is not an easy concept. If you are giving that live performance or something you are delivering in person, that's different. But using these rhetorical devices, only you can capture your audience. And at the same time, you have to ensure that you should not exceed what purpose you are delivering. Suppose you are going to give some kind of speech which require only formal way of communication, then you should not use the rhetorical devices there, because there's no need for that. At the same time, when you are trying to persuade, or when you are asked to give a speech on somebody, or you have to praise somebody, then you can use that kind of rhetorical devices. So ensure that where you are giving the speech and what purpose you are giving that speech. That's very important. So this is rhetorical devices, how to use, and you will learn further thing about body language and other things. So if you have any Q&A, question and answer, I'm happy to answer. Any questions? No, you are all very clear, right? So I'm really happy. So most of the time we are planning you all to deliver a speech in front of audience at the showcase session. Even yesterday also we talked to Abhirami and I discussed about this. Why can't we make you give a presentation in front of real audience? Means in front of your seniors or in front of your boss. we will discuss with the Archana and we will try to make it. Those who are available in Chennai, and they can participate in real audience. Facing the real audience is something different, right? Talking to the computer or talking to the laptop or the webcam is totally different. Talking to the real person is different, because sometimes real person will stare at you. At that time, how we are tackling that? That's a real challenge. Anyway, next week, most probably we will have a body language or non-verbal. Two more things you have to learn. One is body language, another is called voice modulation. So both we will learn. So now that mostly next week or next to next week we will cover both. So other than that, if you have any doubt, you are free to ask, not only about this session or anything about the public speaking. The problem is not asking a question. Those who are studying well, they don't have any doubts. Those who are not studying well, they also don't have any doubts. The problem in middle. So I don't know which category you are. So anyway, I hope that you are at the studying well category. Thank you, Lakshmi Narayana. Back to you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, DDM. I know it's a little late for others, but it's worth spending time here for learning these new skills. I'm sure most of the people will agree. I think some have left already for lunch. It's okay. Thank you so much, DDM, and thank you everyone. So maybe Abhirami will connect with you again for the next week session about the speaker session who is going to choose. And you can also nominate yourself for the roles which you have not taken so far. Please do so, because I think most of you have completed level 1, level 2 speech as well. So you are good to take up more roles in future also. Please nominate yourself. And thanks DTM Venu, and thanks Ratish, and thanks Gita, and thanks everyone. We'll wind up this meeting with this. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Lakshmi. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.